Hello everyone, Functional Programming Tutor here, and today we are going to cover some operators in Python. After my video yesterday, I realized that I use a few of them and didn't explain at all what any of them do. While some of them are fairly obvious, others are not, and we're going to talk about some of them today. So the first one that I want to talk about is the assignment operator. When declaring a variable, if you remember, it just has to be lowercase, uppercase, or start with an underscore. And outside of that, it doesn't matter what it is. We're just going to call it x for now. And the equal sign, a single equal sign, is the assignment operator. This allows you to assign a value, um, a literal, if you want to call it that, to a variable. So this value can be a string. It can be a number, an integer. It can be a float. It can be a complex number, although I've never personally used these. I imagine if you were going to use Python for some more advanced uh, math problems, then you'd probably use those. But for integers, you can, oops, if I don't hit a letter, you can assign it a value of any whole number at any length. That includes negative numbers, assuming that I also don't hit any letters there. But for now, we're just going to assign it a value of 10. Okay. So that is the assignment operator. I'll just put a comment here. And we'll say it is the equals sign. Well, what everybody knows as the equal sign, but it is the assignment operator. It is not equals. That's important to understand for another operator that I'll get into later. Okay, let's just do another variable here, and we'll assign this one 5. And let's talk about some math operators. So, like you saw in the last one, you can do the plus sign, and that is the addition operator. Nothing crazy fancy there. You can do the minus sign, subtraction operator. You can do the star there is the multiplication operator. You can do division as well with the forward slash. That is the division operator. Make sure it's the forward slash. Backslash we'll talk about later, but that is what's called an escape character. And then you can do something called modulus, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know where that name comes from. I'm not that good. But I can tell you what it does. So modulus returns the remainder, if I can learn how to spell at some point in my life, of the division product. So we'll just say it returns a remainder of division. So if you have, for example, I'm actually just going to create 2 new variables to show you. We're going to say A equals 2 and B equals 7. So if you were to divide B by A, so 7 divided by 2, B, A, and then print Z5, this is going to give us 1, because if you divide 2 by 7, you would get 3 with a remainder of 1, but it's only going to display 1, just like that. Okay. Let me also actually just add. I'm going to go through and comment all of these real quick. Am I going to do that? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Let me tab over so they're all lined up. Addition, subtraction. There we go. I should probably also learn to type. You'd think I know how to do that by now. Okay. So these are self-explanatory for the most part. This one is the only one that I wanted to cover that's a little weird, or at least it was for me. But that allows you to do things like, actually that'll be our problem for today. We're gonna do something on modulus. Okay. Now let's get into some comparison operators. So of course you have anything. If you were to compare two values, um, and you wanted to know if one is greater than or less than the other, there's obviously greater than and less than. There's also greater than and equal to, or less than and equal to. And this is where equals and does not equal comes in. So let's go through it. Let's say, I don't know, I'll just keep going on my current variable naming convention here, and x is less than y. Okay. And this is the less than. Right, and x is greater than y. That is the less than or equal to. Oops. Less than or equal to. Let me just tab these over so they're even with everything else. Okay. And then, of course, if you have less than or equal to, you also have greater than or equal to. Then you also have equals. So this is how you tell if something is equal or not. How you compare two values to see if they are equal or not. Yeah. Let me just read. No, that's gonna be annoying. Yeah. Okay, that works. I want these to all be lined up. It just looks nicer. If that bothers anybody, sorry. And then, of course, if you can see if something equals each other, you can also see if something does not equal each other. Okay, now what can you do with these? Well, when we talk about if statements, else, elif, we will get into what exactly you can do with these. But for now, if you, let's say, okay, we have x is 10 and y is 5. So if we print z6, for example, where it's saying x is less than y, which it is not, This prints out a bool statement, false. It's only going to give you true or false. So let's print out the one that is true. I'm just going to change this one here. True. That is the exact same for any of these comparison operators. They will give you a true or false. That is it. Nothing else. If you want to do something with these, again, that's where we get into the, well, usually get into the if-else statements. A couple of more, just two more. I'll go over operators like and or not, in and is later. But for now, just to keep the video digestible, we're just going to talk about two more. And one of them is the add and assign operator. So what this does is this is going to take x. Actually, let me just do it. I'll just type it out next to it. So this is exactly the same as saying x equals x plus 1. Okay? And this is add and assign. So what this does is it takes x. When it's written out like this, you can kind of see it a little bit better. That's why I did that. But what it does is it takes the variable x, which is currently 10, and sets it equal to itself plus 1. So now it is going to equal 11. So if right under here I print x, it's going to equal 11 instead of 10. However, if I print x up here, it should equal 10 because I've not reassigned its value yet. And it does. So this one is taking its original value because I've not reassigned it yet. This one is taking the newly assigned value. This is useful for iterating through loops, is probably the thing I use it most commonly for. You can also use it a lot in other applications. That's just the easiest one to explain. Whenever we go over loops, you'll see it a lot more. Okay. Well, we've added 1 to x, so let's subtract 1 from x. You can also do that with the, I call it the subtract and assign. I'm not actually sure if that's what it's supposed to be called, but we're going to subtract 2 from it because it's going to be currently 11. I don't want it to equal 10 at the end of this. And this is, just like with add and assign, the exact same thing as x minus, in this case, x minus 2, because that's the number I've decided to subtract from the value. And now if we print it out, we can see the original value of 10, the plus 1 value of 11, and the minus 2. So it subtracted 2 from 11 because that's where x currently stands, is at 11. Subtracts 2 from it and gives us 9. Okay, a quick problem to go through just because this video is running a lot longer than I wanted it to begin with. Let's say that we wanted to determine, it's going to require if-else statements. Let's count by twos. How about that? So let's say, I'm trying to think of how to do this without a for loop. So if we take a number and set it equal to 0, then we take that number and plus equals 2 to it. Now it's going to display 2, right? So right here we should print, just so we can see it, 0. And here we should print, so we can see it, 2. And now if we take this, again, without using a loop, because I have not explained them yet, and just copy and paste it a few times, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, we should see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's it for today's video. If you like, please leave a like. If you have any questions about any of these operators, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to address them either in a video if they're going to require that, or just a simple response. Thanks so much.